Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're going to take a look at another budget phone that's available in the market today that's not going to break the bank, but it's going to give you tons of capabilities if you're looking for an unlocked phone. So over the next couple months, we're going to see some high-end phones released in the market. The LG G6 is going to be out. You're also going to have the Samsung S8 and S8 Plus. But I wanted to give some love to these very affordable phones, and it's getting harder and harder to refer to them as budget phones. Now, budget is on the price because the features, I would say the specs are getting better and better for these devices. And you've seen me review a couple of these devices, and I'm talking about phones that are sub 300, unlocked, that will work with a variety of carriers here in the US, namely AT&T, US Cellular, and T-Mobile, the GSM type, and are going to be very affordable, and you don't really have to pay a monthly fee. And as you see this phone that we're going to look at in a couple seconds, you'll see that this one definitely falls into that category. So let's talk about the specs. Let's see we'll do an unboxing, we'll set it up, and see how it functions. And you hopefully will come to the same conclusion as I am, that these budget phones aren't budget anymore. So this phone is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. And we're going to go over some of the specs. We're not going to go over all the specs because there's just too much to cover. I'll include in the link as well as in the description all the capabilities, but I'm going to highlight the things that stand out the most. First of all, this is a 5.5 inch screen, so it has a large screen that's going to fall into kind of like the phablet market. It is 1080 by 1920. It does have a 13 megapixel camera for photos. 4 gig of RAM. It also has, and again, that is processing RAM. It is running a Snapdragon processor, and that processor is a 625. It has a 4,100 milliamp hour battery, and it also is dual SIM. So what that means from a dual SIM perspective is that you can have two carriers in the phone. So if you want to be able to have a US Cellular, Cricket, or if you want to have a Verizon, well, not actually a Verizon, it would more or less be a T-Mobile and an AT&T, or have two phone numbers from the same carrier, you can do that. This is a perfect phone for someone who carries two phones, one for work, and because you have to have a work number, and then one that is a personal number, because you can have both of them in the same SIM card, and we're going to see that in a couple seconds. So as far as the body itself, the body is not a plastic body. It is a sealed battery, so you're not going to be able to remove the battery, but it is in line with a lot of the specs that we see from a lot of the phones in the market today. And again, this phone was released at the beginning of this year and is running Android 6.0, but it will be upgraded to Android version 7. Now in the box, what you're going to find is the phone, a user guide, which we'll pull aside. You do have an USB, well, actually it's a micro USB, not a USB-C cable, a power brick, and as you can see here, you have your SIM card ejector, and that's pretty much it. Now taking a look at the phone, you do have your volume rocker here, you have your power button there, the expected sensors with the front-facing camera. You have your SIM ejector here, where you would put your SIM card. On the back here, fingerprint sensor, so it does support Android Pay, your camera and flash. On the bottom, you can see that you have two speakers with micro USB charging, and that's pretty much it. It feels great in the hand, and as you look at this, it's kind of hard to determine, because there's no logo, what brand the phone this is, because it actually fits the look and feel of all the phones that are on the market today. But the only difference is that this phone, and this is the big difference, is sub $200. So literally, I'll show you in a couple minutes a link to Gearbest where you can get this phone for 179 bucks. So sub $200, but packed with features. Let's power it up. So this is where you're going to be able to acquire this phone if you're interested. As you can see here, this is coming from the Gearbest website that we are going to include a link for. And what you'll do is just come to this page, and you can see that it is there's a current promotion for the next 9 days, 175 bucks, so sub $200. Great features, and again, there's a lot of other phones here that are listed, but all of the capacities or specs are listed here, and the compatibility as well. So if you have any questions about this, leave it in the YouTube channel as well. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. So now powering up, I'll go ahead and I'll walk you through the setup process. So here you have the My logo, and it should be pretty much the same as any standard Android setup process. So we'll see how it walks us through that process. This phone has not been started or set up. It really just right out of the box. I just cut the labels off before I did the video, and you can see that we have the Android logo right there on the bottom, and here you have your operating system already loaded. All right, so it looks like we're going to go through the setup process. This is pretty different because I have normally seen it, as you've seen on the channel, you go through a lengthy setup process, and for this phone to be out of the box, we didn't see that. So now taking a look at the actual operating system, it's a very vanilla implementation, meaning that there's not a lot of bloatware, there's not a lot of personalization going on here. This is all you have installed, so you have really nothing here that is extra, as you see in a lot of the other phones that you get. Very basic. It does have kind of what you would expect from an Android phone, so we'll get a little bit closer so that comes up nicely. You know, your controls at the top, you can swipe down, we'll see some of the features that are there just so you can see that everything that you would expect would be found there. I'll connect it to a Google account so that we can update it and see if there's any upgrades that we're missing. But all in all, very basic. If I go into the phone dialer looks like any other dial that you would expect, even though again, it's following what you would expect from Android. And again, all the capabilities, the camera function, so you can see how fast it is. That's pretty decent. If I want to take a pic, let's go ahead and put something here in place. There's a slight lag. It's not going to be as fast as a Samsung phone or an LG or an iPhone, but again, you're looking at a $200, sub $200 phone. We'll connect it, we'll look at some of the browsing speeds just so you can see how it works. So let's go ahead and talk about now performance. So what I wanted to show you is how fast will the phone unlock using the fingerprint sensor. So I'm going to put my finger on the fingerprint sensor, and that's it. Very fast. It performs, I would say, almost on par with some phones that are at 3 times the cost of this phone. From a graphics perspective, let's look at graphics, and I do have a matte screen protector on this. We're going to go ahead and go into the gallery, and I just want to show you some of the graphics so you can get a sense of the quality of the images. So we'll get a little bit closer. Vibrant color, so you're getting some nice images here. Look at this, the blacks, and look at that. So definitely you have a great experience when it comes to screen, graphics, and also performance. But let's see what gameplay looks like. All right, from a gameplay perspective, what we're going to do is just load Asphalt. And again, what we're trying to show here is the actual performance, so you can see what you get with the actual processor. So I've installed it already and set it up so that we don't go through the setup process. But if you've played this game before, what you're seeing is, you know, more or less what you would experience. This is a very heavy sound and graphic intensive game when it comes to, you know, just the overall gameplay. So we're going to get a little bit closer right here. I'm going to choose play. I'm going to choose this one. Next, and I'm going to start a race. Alright, so let me see if I can do this around the camera. I'll pull it back a little bit. Alright. So no stuttering, things look smooth. Let's go ahead and keep this in. And you can see pretty much very responsive. I don't really see any limitations with this when it comes to, you know, some of my experiences with some of the other games that I've played. Graphics are good. Response is good. Again, for a sub $200 phone, I think this is a steal. So the next thing I wanted to show you is browser performance. So we're going to go ahead and try to do a search for something. You can see how well it's performing. I'm going to go ahead and go into YouTube to the channel. And here's my channel. If I want to run a video, because that's the other thing that a lot of us do is run videos, I'm going to go ahead and run this video. And you can see it performs really well. So now the only area that I see that this phone is a little slower, and you saw that earlier, is in the camera. Not significantly, so we'll go back to it so you can see it one more time. I'm going to launch the camera. So launching the camera is decent. It's on the picture side. So if I take a picture, the actual focus time and the actual snapping has a slight lag. But once again, we're looking at a very affordable phone, and if that's something that you can live with, I think that this is definitely a buy. So this concludes my review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. If you have any comments or questions about this product, leave it in the comment area below. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.